Hey everyone, it's Kai from Cool Collectibles. Hope everyone had a great Christmas with family and friends. It is getting towards the end of the year, and I don't have any more 1/6 scale figures coming in. There are a couple of late releases in October, November and December that I won't get until January due to the local distributor here. But I figured I'd spend a bit of time just to go through the figures I have received and added to the collection in 2018 and go through what I think are my favourites for the year. And looking back, Hot Toys started the year with a bang with a whole bunch of releases, including Doc Brown here in early January. And it's still a great figure, particularly if you've got all the Marty McFly figures as well. Hopefully one day they do release the radiation suit, because I think that is sorely missing from the first movie. I'm not sure why it's taken them so long, or if there's a licensing issue there, but either way, hopefully they do that soon. Also in January they released the Hot Toys Spider-Man from Homecoming, and I only got the tech suit, not the homemade suit, and I think it looks pretty good with that Tom Holland head sculpt there. And also they released the Iron Man Mark 6 die-cast figure, and this is probably my top three. In my top three, I think it's a fantastic figure, from the design, the build quality, and the overall paint application and so on of the figure is outstanding. Also in January they also released a Hoth Leia here. So out of my Star Wars collection, this was a must-have for me. I love that outfit from Empire Strikes Back. I'll probably pass on the Bespin suit, and hopefully they announce a Return of the Jedi version. It looks like it's only going to be the Endor version and not the Slave Leia outfit, but hopefully all those things about Disney not making those Slave Leia outfits available anymore, hopefully that's all just bullshit, and they actually do one soon. Also on the Star Wars front, Tarkin here was released, and again this was probably one of my favourite head sculpts of the year from Hot Toys. It's just a perfect rendition of him from, I guess, I think they marketed it as from Rogue One, but I'll pretend that that's not the case, and it is from A New Hope, and I think it looks pretty damn fantastic next to Vader. And the Emperor here, the space here, is one of the figures that's released, I think, back in October, and the local distributor here still hasn't got their stock, so I'll be getting that hopefully in January. But continuing the Star Wars front, on Sideshow this time, not Hot Toys, Sideshow released Dengar and Zuckuss here in quick succession, I think from February or March, and I've had them displayed with the troop of 6 stormtroopers from Empire Strikes Back and the Carbonite Han, so I think overall that's one of my favourite displays in the collection. They are sort of secondary characters, but they just look pretty damn badass on display. And the figures themselves, the face sculpt is probably one of Sideshow's best paint applications. They don't have a good track record in human sculpts, but overall they did a pretty good job with Dengar. And with Zuckuss here, they always do their aliens pretty well. And I guess with the coat here, feels like sandpaper, but no cracking or anything on mine yet, and I probably won't be moving it anytime soon either, so hopefully it stays okay for a few more years to come. Other than that, back again on this side, In Flames Toys also released their Wong Fey-Hong figure, and this was one of the sort of classic and iconic Kung Fu movies out of Hong Kong back in the, I think, late 70s, early 80s, and overall it is a fantastic looking figure. Love the lion head there. That just looks incredible. I did think about getting the Enter Bay version as well, but just for space purposes and so on, I figured one figure for the character would be enough in my collection. Then back on this side, 2 figures that came later in the year. This one here, if I can get through all the reflections, the Anakin figure. I haven't really done too much with him, to be honest. I do need to sort of fix up the pose a little bit. Now I didn't get the Sith Eyes version. Some people have gotten both, but one version of Anakin from the prequels will be enough for me. And I do have the Obi-Wan coming sometime next year. That hasn't released yet in Hong Kong. I think it releases sometime in the first couple of months next year, I think. So that should be a good complement for that figure. And of course, I got the late stock here in Australia for Jedi Luke, which released back in July, I think. So it has taken me a while. I did the review of that just a couple of days ago. And this, I think, is also in my top 3 figures of the year. I do actually like the head sculpt. A lot of people have sort of complained about it, but overall, I think from most angles it is pretty movie accurate, and I love the outfit and the way they've improved the ankles and the boots and so on. So along with the Iron Man Mark 6, that's in my top 3. Then of course the last one in my top 3 is this one right here by Asmus Toys. In their Gimli. It was their last figure out of the Fellowship, and they essentially left the best till last. The rooted beard, the braiding of the moustache, everything is absolutely fantastic. Probably the only negative I can find is the chainmail suit is a little bit stiff. People have sort of swapped it out for some custom chainmail suits that do look pretty damn awesome. This one I won't bother swapping out, but you might just be careful of some of the cracking or so on along the elbows if you're posing it in more dynamic poses. But other than that, I've got it in a pretty pretty static pose along with the rest of them here. And I think Asmus overall have done a fantastic job with their Fellowship figures. Hopefully they come through with their promise of a revised Frodo head sculpt with a proper paint application and not just the unpainted plastic. I think that was a production error that they have promised to fix. We haven't heard anything for several months now, but we'll just have to see if they come through with that promise. I probably won't get any more figures from their Lord of the Rings series, but hopefully they do come through with that. And then back again on this side, quite a few Star Wars figures I've had this year. The Royal Guard also came out this year. And as always, the Hot Toys Trooper figures are just second to none. They do a fantastic job with their troopers. Just the glossy finish on the helmet, the material of the robe, and just the different sort of layers in the clothing that you probably can't make out here on the undersuit as well. Just all the details that you would expect from Hot Toys. Now the last figure that I got this year out of 2018 that I haven't gone through yet is this one, the old Leia Organa figure from The Last Jedi. I hated that movie, but I had to have the 3 characters together in the collection in their, I guess, their last rendition of the way they looked in the movies. I guess apart from Luke, I'll forget what he did in The Last Jedi and just assume The Force Awakens was his last movie. I guess he didn't look too different from that. But the figures overall, I think Hot Toys did a pretty amazing job with the 3 of them. So other than that, I've got, as I was saying, I've got the Emperor still to come. And the last figure that they released in December was the Neo from the Matrix. So I've got that coming hopefully in January or February from Sideshow. Definitely looking forward to that. They've, from all the pics that I've seen, it does look like an amazing figure. So I'm really looking forward to adding that to, some of the more classic 80s, 90s, and early 2000s sort of sci-fi action movies. We definitely need to see more of that from Hot Toys, I think, rather than all the Marvel figures that I guess they've been delaying a lot of the DC figures, which have pissed off a few fans. But I'm not getting too many more DC figures, if at all. The Trinity up here will be fine, unless I will be seeing Aquaman probably in the next day or so. So if I do end up loving that, I might get the new figure announced for that movie. I do prefer that suit over the Justice League version, which looks pretty much like a vomit green to me. But other than that, that's pretty much it from the 1/6 scale front. I do have a few pre-orders scattered throughout the year next year for 2019. So hopefully you can click that like and subscribe button and stay tuned for all the 1/6 scale reviews that I'll have coming up in the new year. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers. Bye.